What's up, guys? I'm back with another video I've been pretty excited to make. I feel like these types of videos are like an MMA YouTuber's initiation onto the scene. So here I am to put forth my UFC fighter autism tier list. And I know you guys have anxiously been waiting for this. No one has said it yet, but I can just tell you guys have been anxiously waiting for this. So without further ado, let's get started. We're going S tier from D tier. S tier, most autistic. D tier, least autistic. Pretty self-explanatory. So let's jump into it. First up on the list, we have Ian Gary. Now, against what a lot of people may think, I actually have Ian Gary on here as an example of a non-autistic fighter. I think he's very outgoing. He's not very, I don't know how to say this. He's not very socially awkward. He's a good example of having no autism. I can't think of a specific hyperfixation he has. He's into MMA, but it's not his whole life. He knows how to talk about more than it. He's pretty annoying, but that's because he's so socially outgoing, I think, that he's an example of no autism. So there you go. Now, I can tell from the top of this head, I know exactly who this is going to be. Islam Makhachev. Where do I put Islam? Oh, I feel like he's dropped a few tiers. I think he would have been S tier before, but I'll put him in A tier. Yeah, I think that's a good place. He's lucky he was born in Dagestan, though, because he was allowed to pursue his special interests and focus completely on that. If he was born anywhere else, I feel bad for the kid. But Islam Makhachev, whenever anyone sees him, it looks like the controller is off on his game. All he talks about is MMA. His way of speaking, his way of interacting is a very autistic vibe. And this is, by the way, I put this in my previous video where I was diagnosing UFC fighters. None of this is bullying. I promise. This is a completely objective view on these fighters. This is not bullying. I promise you. And if you think it is, then that's on you. You have to address your own bias, guys. Come on now. But I feel like when he's at home, all he's doing is watching fights, training. When he's in public, all he's doing is talking about fighting, shadow boxing, shooting takedowns on people. Give me A tier for Islam Makhachev. Now, we have Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen, a lot of people might put him higher, but I'll actually put him in the C tier. He's just a chill guy. He's an overrated autistic, in my opinion. A lot of people think, oh, this is a smart guy who's really into fighting. He's kind of more quiet. That must mean he's autistic. But no, I think Corey Sandhagen's just chill. I feel like he's probably just sitting there in his room on shrooms, doing some jujitsu training at the gym. Very chill, making his jujitsu demos. Not particularly autistic, though. Maybe if he was more autistic, he could hit the title level, but he always falls short in these title fights to people who are a little more autistic than he is. So give me Corey Sandhagen at the C tier. Next up, I'm trying to guess who these are from the top of their heads. Is this Yuri? This is Alex Pereira. I have B tier for Alex Pereira. He says Shama like a Pokemon a lot, and that's kind of his big line. Before, he definitely would have been higher. Probably A tier or S tier when all he said was Shama, but he's become more outgoing as he's gotten into the scene more. He stands awkwardly sometimes, like he doesn't know where to put his hands. Very autistic demeanors, I'll say. That's why he's B tier. Very autistic demeanors, and when he's in an awkward situation, you see that big awkward grin creep onto his face. Very reminiscent of autism. This video sounds very bad. This is not bullying. This is just me objectively studying a couple of my favorite UFC fighters in the game. This is not bullying, but I'll put B tier for Alex Pereira. Now, who is this? Leon Edwards. I made a video the other day saying I don't think Leon Edwards is autistic. I think he might just be socially awkward. But now that I'm looking back at it, he might be an A tier contender. He might be lower if it wasn't for that pizza in the club video. That's one of my favorite videos ever. After he beats, I'm pretty sure he just knocked out Usman with that head kick. And then a day later, I'm scrolling on Twitter, and I see a video of Leon Edwards in the club dancing with a piece of pizza in his hand, looking around awkwardly. He has a belt over his shoulders. He's a new UFC champion, and he couldn't look more out of place celebrating in the club. Piece of pizza, probably never been to a club before, not sure what the etiquettes are, looking around awkwardly, trying to make sure no one's looking at him recording this video. He just has awkward, autistic demeanor. Same with his way of speaking at press conferences. Doesn't make eye contact with people, really. He tried to punk Bilal. It didn't work. That did not really help his aura. Give me A tier for Leon Edwards. Now, we have Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell is actually going C tier. We'll put him behind Corey Sandhagen. He's going C tier. I know a lot of people probably would think Bryce Mitchell would be higher, but I think maybe there's something else going on there. Not autism, though. He's very outgoing. He doesn't have any specific special interest. He's just interested in a whole lot of things. It's just the things that he's interested in makes people maybe associate that with autism, but I think it's something else going on there. But yeah, no real clear signs of autism in Bryce Mitchell, in my opinion. So let me get Bryce Mitchell in the C tier. Now we have Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is D tier. He's another example of the Bryce Mitchell syndrome. He may have something else going on in there, but I don't think it's autism. He's an outgoing guy. He's a very sociable guy. No clear signs of autism. He's a little bit, I was about to say something crazy. He's a little bit not all there in the head, but I feel like that's the opposite. And I think autism, I think someone who's, hyper fixated on certain things, pretty smart. Not really what I think about with Justin Gaethje. Again, I think there's something else going on there. Not bullying, of observations. You can observe without bullying, guys. Again, if you think this is bullying, that's something you have to address in yourself. Now we have my GOAT, Dustin Poirier. I almost want to put him A tier, S tier. Do I put him S tier? We'll put him A tier. We'll put him A tier. I'll put him top of A tier. He's an underrated A tier too, which is the crazy part. But he has that certain type of stutter in interviews. He doesn't stutter just, talking to himself or in comfortable situations. But you see when he's in interviews talking to new people on stage, he has that autistic kind of, how do I say it? Like the tone of his voice kind of. And what really put him in the A tier is the hot sauce for everybody moment at that press conference. Everyone's arguing. He goes, hot sauce for everybody. Just the way he moved. It's like he's not sure how to move his body right without seeming awkward. Give me A tier for Dustin Poirier. Plus, I'm pretty sure all he thinks about is fighting. When he's in the cage, all he wants to do is fight. He's retired, and he's still commentating for the UFC. All he wants to do is unretire, but he can't because he's too sauced up right now. Too sauced up and jacked. Wow, sauced up, jacked white boy. Dustin Poirier. Put some autism on there. What a guy he is. Give me A tier for Dustin Poirier. Now we have Arnold Allen. Again, another A tier. The A tier is getting a little full. You know what? I'll move Islam down to B tier. Now that I'm looking at all these guys in A tier, Islam is not on their level, I don't think. Maybe something else is going on, but not on their level. I don't know. Maybe bottom. He is on. I'll put him above Pereira in B tier. He's borderline A tier, but I'll give him B tier. Arnold Allen. If anyone has ever seen Arnold Allen in an interview on his own Instagram or YouTube channel, if you've just seen him talk, if you know Arnold Allen, you know he's autistic. Even he says he's autistic. He has the autism accent a little bit. He's very quiet, not great with eye contact either, I've noticed. Just everything about him screams autism. So give me A tier for Arnold Allen. Oh, kind of spoiled the rest of them. That's okay. Petr Yan. Give me Petr Yan and I'll put him B tier. Petr Yan at B tier. I don't know. That's pretty. Whoa. Did you guys just hear that? I don't know how my voice just did that. All right. Anyway, it just went. I don't even know how to do it again. It just squeaked. I'm not a squeaker, guys. Anyway, B tier for Petr Yan. Petr Yan, I don't know. Everything about him just feels like he's hyper fixated on fighting. He's not good at social interactions either. I saw some training footage of him like running through like a city, a crowded area, and he's like pump faking people while running by. And maybe that's not autistic because I feel like autism, no, that's like the Gene Silva autism where you're kind of really out there, but you're just lacking the social cues, maybe Asperger's. And when he's recording that homeless guy going, look, it's Aljo, it's Aljo, it's Aljo, look, it's Aljo. He did look a little bit like Aljo. Not really. He was just a black guy with an afro. But I don't know. Everything about him feels a little like there's a hint of it. He could go C tier, but I'll put him bottom of B tier. Bottom of B tier for Petr Yan. We have 3 people left. Now, our first S tier. No, I'm joking. I'll put C tier for Hamzat. Hamzat, he's not. I know a lot of people may think he's autistic, but he doesn't seem very autistic. He's gotten less quiet over the years, and I don't think he has a hyper fixation on fighting. I think he just loves fighting. And again, it's not like we see this guy always in the gym, always grinding. A lot of times we see him with his expensive cars, expensive lifestyle, walking around in Dubai. Over the years, he's become less autistic, I think. Earlier in his career, I probably would have put him B tier or A tier, but I think he's just a very physical guy as well. So whenever he sees someone, he may wrestle them down to the ground, but that's just his way of saying hi. That's not really autism. So give me C tier. Now, Sean Silva. Moving on. No, I'm joking. John Silva, very autistic. That video of him crying at the belt solidified it for me. Screaming and crying because he saw the belt. Actually, it was solidified way before that. The barking in the cage, the smiling and high fiving his opponents mid fight, and then crying immediately after knocking him out. I've never seen a more autistic man, except maybe the next guy. However, Gene Silva, all the signs of autism. I'm pretty sure he's diagnosed as well. Like, if someone were to ask me, name one UFC fighter with autism, Gene Silva's one of the first three names coming to mind. Yeah, give me Gene Silva, S tier. And I know I said name one guy, first three minds. First three. Oh my gosh, I'm moving on. Never mind. Now, our final S tier member and our final member on this tier list. Give me Yuri Prohaska. Him and John Silva are actually pretty interchangeable. And now that I was going to have Yuri Prohaska way ahead, but now that I think about it, they're pretty interchangeable. Yuri is very, very autistic, though. His hyperfixation is definitely fighting. That's all he thinks about. His whole lifestyle is focused around fighting. The birth of his child, I'm pretty sure he was wearing like UFC merch. He had like a fake belt or something. He held his child like a UFC fighter would. Everything about his life is just completely focused around fighting. And he's very socially awkward, but in a charming, samurai sort of way. I definitely would put Yuri Prohaska in the S tier. I'm pretty sure everyone else would too. And if you didn't, you need to reassess your autism tier list. All right, guys. And that's all I have for today. So remember to like and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video, posting every single day. Remember that. And where I would put myself on this tier list, I'd put myself in the S tier with them too. See, this is not bullying. This is just me looking at my compatriots. That's a good word, compatriots. So I'd put myself in the S tier. There you go. Remember, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.